Hello and welcome to our class English 2. Today we will go on with Unit 9, Species Survival. You can look at some animals on the slide. Do you know they are? Do you know what they are? The first one is a cheetah, second one zebra, and the last one monkey. Sure? Okay, now move on. Now look at the first picture. This is, what do we call it? Giraffe. And I want to provide you some information about giraffe. The average lifespan of a giraffe is 25 years in the wild and more than 30 years in captivity. Giraffes live for between 20 minutes and 2 hours a day. Giraffes are vegetarians. They use their tongues to pull leaves up trees. They are the tallest animals on earth. These are some information about this animal, giraffe. Now we move to the second one, exploring the theme, species survival. You have to answer 4 questions. But before you answer the questions, you have to look at the information about Charles Darwin, an English naturalist. Charles Darwin, một nhà nghiên cứu về tự nhiên học người Anh, đã viếng thăm khu Galapagos, hòn đảo Galapagos. Nơi này ông ấy đã nghiên cứu nhiều cái chủng loại động vật thú vị và đã phát triển một lý thuyết gọi là sự lựa chọn tự nhiên. Theo như cái lý thuyết của ông thì các động vật của cùng một giống loài thì hơi có những cái đặc điểm khác nhau. Những động vật mà có những cái đặc điểm có ích thì dường như là sẽ sống sót và sẽ sinh sản hơn, có cái xu hướng sống sót và sinh sản tốt hơn. Con cái của những động vật này thường hưởng những cái đặc tính có ích từ bố mẹ, và theo thời gian thì tất cả những thành viên của cái giống loài này đều có những cái đặc điểm có ích này. Darwin cũng nghiên cứu sự khác biệt nhỏ ở một số đặc điểm trong từng cái giống loài của động vật mà có ích cho cái sự tồn vong của nó. Ví dụ như cái vỏ của những mai của những con rùa khổng lồ ở vùng Galapagos thì có những cái kích cỡ khác nhau và hình dạng khác nhau tùy theo cái hòn đảo mà những động vật này sống và những thứ mà nó ăn. Con thỏ rừng Bắc Cực theo thời gian cũng phát triển một đặc điểm rất là hữu ích, đó là bộ lông trắng và dày, giữ nó ấm vào mùa đông. Bộ áo khoác, bộ lông trắng của những con thỏ này gây khó khăn cho những cái động vật săn mồi để tìm thấy nó, và cũng chống lại tuyết và băng tuyết và băng. Các nhà khoa học và những nhà nghiên cứu đi đến những nơi giống như Congo Basin tại châu Phi và ghi chép lại và theo dõi, keep track of là theo dõi tất cả những cái chủng loài đặc biệt mà họ tìm thấy. Họ làm điều này để giúp ngăn chặn những cái loài động vật bị tránh khỏi nguy cơ tuyệt chủng. Instinct tuyệt chủng ha. Thỏ rừng chúng ta có thể đọc là hare. Predator, động vật săn mồi. Đó là một số từ mới. Now we move to the questions. The first answer for question A. He studies many interesting species of animals. It is called natural selection. Number 2, the shells of the giant turtles and the thick white coat of the Arctic hare. Number 3, they make notes and keep track of all different species they find. And number 4, the answer will vary, so you can give me your own answers on this questions about this question. Now we move to the vocabulary. Number 1, environment. Number 2, identify. Number 3, offspring. 4, diversity. 5, trace. 6, reproduced. 7, adapt. 8, species. 9, process. 10, inherit. Trong này câu số 3 là con cái ha. Con cái hoặc là con đẻ gì đó. Number 4, diversity là sự đa dạng. Traits là đặc điểm. Reproduce sinh sản, sao chép. Adapt là thích nghi. Species là giống loài. Process, quy trình. Inherit là thừa hưởng.
Unit 9, Lesson A, Building Vocabulary. A. Meaning from context. Page 164.
The Beagle in South America. The Beagle expedition's priority was to map the harbors and coastlines of South America. Charles Darwin spent a lot of his time on land, exploring parts of Argentine pampas, the Atacama Desert, and the Andes Mountains. Argentina, 1832. At both Punta Alta and Monte Hermoso, Darwin found many fossils of large prehistoric animals. He could not identify the fossils, but they were similar to modern animal species from the area. This might have been the beginning of the idea that modern species could change over time from earlier species. Chile, 1833. In South America, the men on the Beagle sometimes ate a South American bird called a rhea. In Patagonia, Darwin heard about a smaller type of rhea. It lived mostly in southern Patagonia, while the larger rhea lived in northern Patagonia. The two species were separated by the Rio Negro. At this time, Darwin became interested in the diversity of animal life. Could an animal's environment affect traits such as size? Galapagos Islands, Ecuador, 1835. Here, Darwin began to develop his ideas about why and how the diversity of species occurred. In a process he called natural selection, an animal with a useful trait was more likely to survive, and therefore more likely to reproduce. The animal's offspring would then inherit the useful trait. In contrast, animals of that same species with a different trait might die and not reproduce. In this way, a species would adapt to its environment and change over time.
Okay, now we move on. Fill in the blanks here. Diversity, reproduced, inherited. Trace, process. Okay, check it. Remember some new vocabularies in Unit 9. Especially, you have to pronounce this one correctly. Species, inherit. Okay, move on. We move to listening task. Now listen.
Listening. A biologist's talk about birds. B. Using a graphic organizer. Page 167.
All right, let's stop here for a moment. One type of bird I know we're going to see today is the finch. These birds are very common here in the UK, as well as in many other parts of Europe. Oh, good. Look over there. Do you see the bird on that plant? It's a goldfinch. Unlike other finches, the male goldfinch has a very long beak, so it can get the seeds from inside those flowers.
Excuse me, is that a male or a female goldfinch?
It's definitely a male. The female's beak is shorter, so she can't get seeds from that flower. Are there any other questions?
Yes. Is the goldfinch here all year?
Actually, most of them fly to warmer parts of Europe in September or October. They come back.
Listening. A biologist's talk about birds. B. Using a graphic organizer. Page 167.
All right. Let's stop here for a moment. One time.
Listening. A biologist's talk about birds. B. Using a graphic organizer. Page 167.
All right. Let's stop here for a moment. One type of bird I know we're going to see today is the finch. These birds are very common here in the UK, as well as in many other parts of Europe. Oh, good. Look over there. Do you see the bird on that plant? It's a goldfinch. Unlike other finches, the male goldfinch has a very long beak, so it can get the seeds from inside those flowers.
Excuse me, is that a male or a female goldfinch?
It's definitely a male. The female's beak is shorter, so she can't get seeds from that flower. Are there any other questions?
Yes. Is the goldfinch here all year?
Actually, most of them fly to warmer parts of Europe in September or October. They come back to the UK in the spring. Okay, let's talk about a second type of finch, the greenfinch. The greenfinch has an even wider range than the goldfinch. It lives in most parts of Europe and also in northwest Africa and parts of Turkey.
Is there anything else that's special about the greenfinch?
I'm glad you asked that question. The greenfinch is interesting because it has a large, strong beak. It uses that powerful beak to break open larger seeds.
So, the male goldfinch eats the small seeds inside flowers, the female goldfinch eats other small seeds, and the greenfinch eats the larger seeds.
That's exactly right. Each bird has found a way to have its own special place in the environment. If many other birds eat small seeds, and you're the only bird that eats big seeds, then you'll always have plenty to eat.
I have a question. Does the greenfinch leave in the winter like the goldfinch does?
Most of the time, no. They stay here, but you will find them living in different places during different seasons. In the summer, you're more likely to find them in parks and forests. But in the winter, when there is less food, you'll find them in people's gardens and in farmers' fields. Remember, they have those large beaks, so they can eat the seeds and grain crops that people leave behind. Okay, let's continue on.
Okay, we move on. Can you hear it? I will provide you the transcript. Some vocabularies, new vocabulary. Goldfinch, con sẻ vàng. Beak, mỏ chim ha, mỏ của con chim. Yeah. Phần này thì không khó để nghe đâu ha, các em cố gắng nha, cô cũng không cần dịch ra đâu nha, vì cô thấy không khó. Trong này có chữ small seeds là những cái hạt seeds, những cái hạt. Green finch là con sẻ xanh, những cái con sẻ vàng, những cái con sẻ xanh. Trong này chữ rain crops là mùa lúa, vụ lúa. Rain crops là vụ lúa ở cuối đó, dòng thứ hai từ dưới đến lên đó. Rain crops, vụ lúa. Okay. Now we move to lesson B. Phần B là thông thường là phần bỏ qua trên lớp mình để các em tự học. Thì đây cô cũng cố gắng cung cấp cái đáp án cho các em tự học. Cho nên cái phần này là cô chỉ cung cấp đáp án thôi chứ không có giải thích kỹ từ vựng nha. Number 1 to 10. Aware, classify, variation. Number 4. Technique. Number 5. Controversial, tranh luận, tranh cãi. 6. Sample, mẫu. Number 7. Gene. Number 8, substances, sequences, and 10, argue. Sequence là trình tự ha, substance là chất bổ sung, thành phần gì đó ha. And using vocabulary part, ASCII art, variation, sự sai số, sự khác nhau. And listen for main ideas. ASCII 1A, 2B, and 3A.
Listening. A conversation about a science experiment. A. Listening for main ideas. Page 177.
I'm glad you had time today to work on our project.
Me too. It's due in a week and a half after all. I think we're going to get a pretty clear result, don't you agree?
Most likely. The fish in the colder water are not as orange as the fish in the warmer water.
I agree. I know it's hard to keep the water exactly the right temperature in this lab, but you can see the difference in the fish.
Yeah, we've had some variation in the water temperature, especially at night. Could you please hand me the fish food?
Here you go.
Thanks.
No problem. So I think we should write our lab report as soon as possible. I have other classes to study for next week.
Yeah, me too. But I'm afraid I don't agree. We can't write the report yet because we need to give the experiment more time. Maybe we'll get clearer results if we wait a few more days.
Okay, I see your point. Are these the notes you took yesterday?
Yep.
Do you mind if I copy them? I can't seem to find my notebook.
Go right ahead, but you might not be able to read my writing.
Oh, come on. Your writing isn't that bad.
And could I ask you for something? Would you mind feeding the fish tomorrow? I have classes all day, plus soccer practice in the evening.
I can do that. And maybe the difference in the fish's color will be more obvious tomorrow.
I hope so.
Okay, so we move to part P, and there are five questions in part P, and the answers are, you have a look. Number 1, the fish in the colder water is not as orange as the fish in the warmer water. There is some variation in the water temperature. He handed him a fish food. His notes from yesterday. Feed the fish. And
Listening.
vocabulary and at the transcript. You may have a look at the transcript and try to understand. And thank you. That's all about Unit 9, listening. I hope you enjoy.